Speaker, my questions to the Minister of Education. Speaker, while families of children with autism struggle to deal with this government's removal of vital IBI services, others are facing further hardship in having their children's designated service dog approved for use at school. Families in the region of Waterloo have reported significant hurdles with the local board in not letting their child's trained service dog accompany them to school. These are trained professional dogs that are to be the child's constant companion, helping them overcome their challenges and improve social interactions. Speaker, does the minister agree that families of children with autism shouldn't have their service dogs taken away from them when they get to school?
Here, good question.
Thank you. Minister of Education.
Yes, thank you, Speaker, and I thank the member opposite for his question. And obviously, we are very concerned about the safety and the health and the well-being of students with autism, or students with, quite frankly, a variety of other disabilities. We know that in many cases that service dogs do help children with disabilities, and that could be blind students or it might be deaf students in some cases. Certainly autism students with a variety of mental health issues may have service dogs, and we know that there are a variety of circumstances. School boards are responsible for having their own policies. What I would say is that their policies, however, must be compliant with the Ontario Human Rights Code and must be compliant with Ontario's equity and inclusive education policies. So there are provincial law and policy.
Supplemental.
Speaker, 9-year-old Jack and his dog Jensen will now be allowed on school grounds for just certain activities, but accommodation in the classroom has still yet to be addressed. Meantime, the father of a 7-year-old says the board jerked my chain for 4 months of process, followed by a flat denial in another case. The AODA calls for accommodations for people with service animals, and the Ontario Human Rights Code speaks to the duty to accommodate persons with disabilities. We support service dogs for the blind, PTSD sufferers and others. Families of children with autism shouldn't have to face further hardships to get the same accommodations for their children. Speaker, will the minister commit to reviewing Ontario School Board service dog procedures and prevent further hardships for families of children with autism? Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you. And certainly the boards are responsible for complying with the Ontario Human Rights Code and the equity policies. But at the same time, I think it is important to understand that regardless what the dog is for, what a disability is being addressed, that these are individual circumstances, and the board does look at things like the training of the dog, whether or not if the child is being left independently with the dog during class, the training relationship between the child and the dog, and the ability to control the dog, or at least to make sure that the dog is under control. So there are a variety of things that have to do with the individual child and the individual animal, and that's why boards make